Radio. I'm so happy you're here, and I apologize for the technical difficulties, but we are here and ready to roll. So today is a really special day because the point of centering and self-love is really where intuition starts. So I was remembering when I first started my company, I was 19 years old, and I just knew that as I moved into the presence of unconditional love for myself and other people, the answers would naturally be revealed. And here's why. When we're in a place of fear, we're in constriction. We're cutting ourselves off from the universe. But when we open up to love, we're in this constant state of expansion. And so our spirit, if you think about it, is this infinite being, right? It's soul. And it just makes me cry. So I don't know those of you who listened to the show last week, but it was my dear, dear friend. She was like my second mother. She just passed instantly. From a blood clot to her lungs, just suddenly. And it was just such a shock, right? Because I'm like, how? Like this, her name's Darla Moore, and she was just a love to everybody. And there wasn't, health conditions or anything. But right after I heard about it, I started hearing her spirit come to me. And she kept saying, forgive him, forgive him. And I didn't know exactly what she was talking about. I had some idea, but I didn't really know what it was. And there was a person in my life that I am really working on forgiving for something extremely hurtful. And what I realized is in the moment that I forgave, I set myself free because spirit is that place of infinite love. So the moment we are in fear or in constriction and doing anything other than our expansion into love, in essence, we're cutting ourselves off from who we really are. So I invite you to move into the space of pure unconditional love for yourself. And then what we're going to do is we're going to align with and tune into your intuition as your best guide and your best friend. So I don't know, any of you, if you've ever had a best friend, a lot of us have, and it really is a person that constantly is there for you, that has that space, that knows the best in you. So if you think about your intuition, almost like your oversoul, right? It's kind of looking objectively for the situations. And those of you who have trained with me, I talk about it, right? And I remember my old business manager asked me one time, he's like, so what are guides? And I'm like, guides are really just that objective perspective where they can actually see, their spirits that can actually see beyond the physical into the heart of the matter, into what's really happening. And when you get that truth, you can move into alignment with what you really want, with who you really are, and you can release those fears. So, I think what's going to be most effective is for everybody to think about what is the fear that's blocking you from having what you want now. So, first of all, I invite you to place your hand on your heart. And all of this is an invitation. One of the things I realized the last couple of days is, it is a consent based, meaning every time we say yes or no to something, we are either agreeing or disagreeing. So, even to do this exercise is your choice. But I invite you to tune in, and what I say is drop into your intuition, which really means placing one hand on your heart, the other hand on your gut, and really feeling your center of truth. And knowing that the answers are within you. So let's just take a few moments to breathe into our guts, moving that like tunnel love from our heart down to our gut. Just feeling that presence of love. And that presence of love will reveal the truth. And then it will show you where fear is blocking you to the point where you can release it. So as you start thinking about heart, so feeling into your heart's desire. So what does your heart want to experience? What does it want to feel? What does it want to know? And with so many changes in the world, it could be as simple as to be loved or to know that you are okay, to know that you're not alone. Just feel that presence of love holding you as if there's just hands on your heart. Yesterday, I went down to the beach, and for the last week, I've just had this necklace on, and I notice when I hug people or see people, they're literally putting their hand on my heart. So imagine that there's just 10, 20, 30 hands on your heart if you want that, just holding you, cradling you in love. And then from your core, your tailbone, your root chakra, which is the center for your foundation, creating your life from a place of love. I invite you to visualize the color red, just like this one scarf I'm wearing. And just feel yourself rooted like a tree in love. And then start to bring your awareness a couple inches below your belly button, right to your second chakra. And just see just an image of an orange orb of light. And just see it glowing. This is your second chakra, your intuition. That center point of knowing. It's your feelings that guide you, knowing if something feels right or doesn't feel right. And then we're going to start to bring your awareness to your third chakra, a couple inches above your belly button. This is your center of willpower, belief in yourself. Just go ahead and see if you like the color yellow, a couple inches above your belly button. And just feel your decision. So Sonia Choquette, I trained with her for a while. She endorsed our Miracle You product, and she actually said one time that that center is your point of decision. So you can actually say, I decide, and you'll feel your belly lift. You'll feel a place of power, because when you decide, as simple as choosing love over fear, you're actually empowered. So as you feel your power, I'm going to open the chat for anybody that wants to share. As you move in place of your power, you can then, again, like I said, decide, right? So that place of decision can often move you into alignment when you're choosing from love with your intuition. So now we're going to move up into our heart. And just go ahead and visualize an orb of green light, connecting you to everyone and everything. Love. Feeling that presence. And then from your heart's expression, go ahead, if you like, and move your energy up to your throat. So you're going to be expressing from love, what is your truth? So you can even just say, my highest truth is, my truth is, and notice what comes out for you. And then from speaking your truth, you're going to move your awareness into your third eye. So this is your inner eye. Just opening that, you can even see like a cobalt blue just starting to open, and it even has like a hue of white light around it, fully opening. And this is where you can get visions, right? So the images of the children that I work with came to me years before. So your soul starts showing you your purpose, your soul's blueprint. Good. And now moving your awareness up through the top of your head. So I often like to imagine that there's like a lid on the top of my head and you open that lid and then you're just shooting up straight to source, to the universe, that pure white light, ultimate love and truth. And then it comes back down through your body, down through your legs and your feet. Good. Connecting you through your body, embodying love. So now, when you're working with your intuition and your chakras are balanced and aligned, you're naturally the expression of love. And so whatever comes through you as that is your soul, right? So maybe you're a teacher or a doctor or an executive, or you're wanting to start your own company. When you're aligned from this place, I truly believe you can do, be, and have anything you want because you're in alignment with your highest potential. So then the question is, what do I want to create from here? So I actually invite everybody to visualize this and write it down. So I'll just wait about 30 seconds for you to write down what you want to create from this place of your connection to your soul, to your entire beingness, embodied. So I always like to practice what I preach, so I'll write it down with you. So also I know how much time it takes. So go ahead and just write down what it you want to create from your soul. And I'll definitely open the chat if anybody wants to share. Oh, yay. Thanks, Beatrice, for letting me know that you see me. Awesome. Cool. All right. I see the chat now. Okay, cool. All right. So if anybody wants to type in the chat, go ahead. I'm also going to give a number that you can call. It's not the normal chat line, but you can call it if you have any question that you want me to answer, any question you want to ask. You can call 858-692-4555. I'll put that in the chat. And I'm just going to be available for this hour to do that because I want to offer that. It's always fun when we have live callers, so I haven't done that for a while. All right, so what we're going to do now with whatever your creation is, know that it's already done. So one of my dear students and one of my best friends now, she lives in Holland, and I've actually had her on the show, and I really started a mastermind group with some really powerful women, and she's on it. So I invited her on it. And what she says, she's living the life that she completely dreamed of. She did the full-on certification program, and so now she has what she calls her husband. They haven't officially gotten married yet, but they pretty much are. She has a beautiful job, her dream home, just super, super happy. And she said, knowing that it's going to happen, but it's always a certain divine time. She said, I would have met, my husband months earlier. She was like, I wouldn't have been ready. She's like, he would have driven me bonkers. And so we think we know the timing that something should happen, but there's something bigger picture evolving. But if we can connect to that place of our knowing, we're in alignment with our intuition and we can trust. So then we want to bring in feelings of faith and trust. So I'm going to give you a little taste of the intuitive success coaching process by doing something called anchoring. Now, anchoring is a process where you are linking your brain to the rest of your body with a positive resource. So idea behind intuitive success coaching and the theory behind it is the answers are within us. So when we activate our nervous system to come in alignment with our intuition, we can then actually vibrate to what it is that we're wanting and attract in our lives. So because you have the knowing, make sure you have the knowing that what your creation is absolutely can happen. And I truly believe, I remember my first retreat that I taught in Thailand, I wrote journals to the students saying, like, because you dream it, you can have it, because you're not going to have a dream that you can't manifest. Why would you have it? It's a divine inspiration to have that dream. So as you feel that dream moving through you, knowing that it's done, that it's possible, and it's about moving into alignment and divine timing, so everybody involved wins. We're going to anchor those two things called faith and trust. So what we're going to do, your right, left hand, you're going to bring your thumb and your index finger together. But we're going to do them one at a time, okay? So the first one is going to be faith. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to help you access your 5 senses. And then the anchoring part is holding area on your body. In this case, it's going to be your thumb and your index finger for 3 seconds. Okay. And I'll guide you through this, but what this is going to do, as I said, it's going to bring your brain on board, your nervous system, because every time we have a belief, we actually live it out. So we're going to create positive beliefs that move you in alignment with your intuition, that then allow you to have what you want. Okay. So faith is the first one. So ask yourself, and I invite you to close your eyes if you're in a safe place to do so. If faith wasn't, what would it be? What's the first thing that comes to you? So seeing that image, whatever that is, you can start to bring your thumb and your index finger together. Now, what this is going to do is we're going to keep it stronger and stronger and stronger. So your body's like, yeah, absolutely. I want that faith. I want to experience that faith. And then you ask, if faith was a sound, what would it sound like? So go ahead and just allow yourself to hear faith sounds like for you. Taking a deep breath in, continue to bring your thumb and your index finger together. If faith was a color, what color would it be? And then just notice where you feel it in your body the strongest, and send it to that area of your body. And then just bring it from head to toe in your body, out into your work field. And if faith was a smell, what would it smell like? So taking a deep breath in, bring your thumb and index finger together, smelling faith. And it might sound funny, but if faith was a taste, what would it taste like? So as soon as you get to the height of feeling faith, you're going to take that energy. You can also even imagine a time that you experienced a ton of faith. Keeping that thumb and index finger, just going to hold it for at least 3 seconds. And then after 3 seconds, you're going to release it. So we're going to test the anchor. So you can kind of think of a funny question like, what did you have for breakfast this morning? How were you able to find the show link since we had some technical difficulties at the end? Just something that takes your mind off. Good. Okay. So now You're going to test it. So when you actually place your thumb and index finger in the exact same spot that we anchored it, you will instantly feel faith because your brain remembers every time I do this, I feel faith. And then go ahead and release it. So let me tell you how this works. You're realizing it every day. So every day you see someone or something, you have a certain feeling, right? It's because the reticular activating system knows every time I see this, I'm going to see it over and over and I'm going to feel it. It's also like Pavlov's dog is another great example. It's like he sees the dog dish and he knows it's time to eat. So every time you do a certain repetitive, but a repetitive action where your body is doing the same thing, it triggers that response to your nervous system. So you can literally reprogram. So you can start bringing faith into anything that you want. Okay. So we're going to release that because I want to also give you the experience of trust, right? Remind you how to experience trust. So we're going to do it in a different way. We're going to do it on a different hand. So your left hand, go ahead and remember a time where you experience trust, the feeling of trust. So just notice who's around you, where are you, and notice as you're remembering this moment is the image you have in your mind. And then just start feeling even more of that trust. Take a deep breath into that moment where you felt so much trust and notice what you were smelling. And bringing your left thumb and index finger together, anchoring in that feeling of trust. Notice what you were hearing. Sound around you. Notice where you felt trust in your body. Notice if it maybe was a solid feeling or light feeling. How did it feel? And notice if there was a color. Just bring that into your body. And then see if there's anything else important about that moment where you experience trust. And as you feel that heightened state of trust, go ahead and bring your thumb and your left finger together. Feeling that trust. Go ahead and bring trust into this moment. And then bring trust into whatever you're creating. How we started the show, your heart's desire, your creation. From your ultimate place of connection through your chakras to the divine. Activating the divine potential within you. Feeling that trust, and then whenever you're ready, bringing your right hand, your thumb and index finger, anchoring faith. Bringing faith into your heart's desire, into your infinite connection with the divine. Moving through your body perfectly, knowing that your body is giving you feedback and messages instantly. As you listen to your body, you can trust more. It's like the instrument of spirit. You're finely tuning it this morning or afternoon or evening, wherever you are in the world right now. And just feeling that powerful presence, that faith and trust now activated. And now I invite you to step into living your heart's desire, your full divine potential now. Seeing yourself in it, notice what's around you. Where are you? Taking a deep breath in, noticing what you smell, noticing what you see. Notice what you believe about yourself. Notice what you're telling yourself, your internal dialogue. And notice what you need to know to fully, completely trust yourself and have faith that it gets even better than this. And just allow that answer to come to you. Trust what comes. And then I invite you to bring in this end of forgiveness. I'm just seeing this beautiful pink light down to the ocean the other day, and there was the sunset that would just fill the sky with pink and the whole ocean. And I just want to imagine that you all are just holding hands with me and putting your feet into that ocean and letting that pink energy, that beautiful light, just take away any unforgiveness, any doubt, any fear, any resentment. And just like Darla had come to me, her spirit had said, the past is the past. Let it go. Today is a new day. So just opening up. And I also kept hearing, what are you going to do with your one most beautiful, magnificent life? And now that you've decided to live your heart's desire, to be all of you, we get to receive you as the blessing that you are. Because the more love that you live, the more radiant you are, the more of a gift you are to this planet. So whenever you're ready, I invite you to open your eyes, start coming back to this moment, and take a few moments either now or later to journal the next steps that you took that allowed you to live into who you're becoming, into this future moment that's there waiting for you. And realize that you're already living it now because you're in the process of it. So each step is a perfect step. And you can absolutely trust yourself. Denise, thanks so much for saying you love this. Yeah, it's so fun to do this and to do it in community. And those of you that like community or like going deeper, we have the Intuitive Success Club. So it's either group or private, where we actually go deeply into all of your blocks, all of your gifts, and help you deeply and completely align to why you're here. And you can find out more about that at lifeforceconnection.com under the intuitive certification. And really the best option is probably just to reach out to me because, each one of my clients are such a personal connection. So you can just email me directly at Abby, ABBY, at lifeforceconnection.com. And we can get you set up with an intro call. And really, each time you feel your intuition guiding you, just say thank you. And I think sometimes we want to maybe push down or doubt what our intuition is telling us, but we always know, right? And it's kind of like even just having, a friend warn you, like, maybe that's not a good idea to be in that relationship. Or, lately at the house, there's been some people walking by, and one of the first came by is like, Abby, you might want to shut your windows, and just kind of warning, listen to when something isn't quite feeling right and move away from it. And realize when something does feel right, it's because it's giving you what it is that you've been asking for. So be willing to receive, right? And know that you're perfect. I was raised fundamental Christian, and I had this standard of, always having to be perfect. And it wasn't until I talked to one of what they call workers in the teaching, that I realized why. And it was that I was always taught to be perfect like Jesus, right? And to walk with Jesus, it's like it doesn't, we decide like to not have to judge ourselves to be perfect, but to know that God sees it unconditional love, right? And so for us to be able to really embrace who we are as love is to see the truth of us and everyone else, right? And I know for me and probably for you, it's sometimes easy to get hurt because we don't necessarily understand why people or even certain things are happening in our world, why people, and this is my belief, would have certain intentions that may not, in my opinion, be for the highest or loving. And I think that's where forgiveness comes in, and to be able to see the light, to see they're doing the best they can. And for whatever reason, they're doing what they're doing. And Jess Jutinen is on Wildest Talk Radio as well. And I remember she told me one time, that very thing. Can you just see the divine in everyone and everything and just focus on that? And then, life becomes brighter. Where you're putting your focus, you're obviously growing, right? So if you can start seeing love wherever you go and see your intention, I really believe that your intention drives your behavior. And what's really true for you at the deepest level will be manifested, right? Will be revealed. And if it's not, there's opportunity to course correct. Be like, oh, well, I didn't really mean that. What I really mean is this. Because sometimes life is about clarity because fear can actually cloud our vision, right? Like I shared earlier, fear is that it's that constrictive energy that blocks what we know to be true, right? At that deepest level. And so we can just be willing to soften those fears and tell ourselves the truth, right? The truth about ourselves, the truth about others, and then be with what is and say, okay, what's my next step? One of my favorite quotes that I quote myself saying is, may I take the next step where love has already paved the way before me. Because in essence, our higher self, our intuition knows that next path, right? That next. So if we just listen to those positive feelings, it's really awesome. So nice to see you too, Patricia. I love you. Say, hola, lovely to be here. And I really do love that you even just mentioned a Spanish word, hola, just because it really reminds me of the universal language of love. So I'm working on getting that book done, but the message, was years ago when I started traveling and realizing that we are all connected beyond just language of Spanish, Thai, Balinese, whatever it is, through this place of love. And our One Heart Global project in Ecuador is growing. We have a board member in Australia that has been doing a lot. We have a meeting on the 20th where we're going to be connecting with the kids again. And I just want to invite anybody that's feeling called to work with them. Our goal is to build them a brand new school and orphanage there. If you're feeling called to be a part of that project, you can go to oneheartglobal.co and reach out from there, or also send me an email. But really, that ability to love through whatever language, through whatever difficulty, through whatever, heartbreak or disease that might be going on, to really trust that at the center, if you're seeing the divine, you're able to see love. And, these kids, there was 21 when I went there in March. And, they came from all different places, but where they really gained strength was being together. And, there was a timeline that they had to be able to keep the building. And when my dad and I visited, it was like, man, the thought of them being the worst possible thought, right? So love brings us together and understanding heals. So if we can actually have, the ears to hear and the heart to be open to what is really happening at the deepest level with everyone around us, right? I know that there's that prayer from St. Francis of Assisi. It says, Lord, let me be an instrument of thy peace. Where there is hatred, let me sow love. Where there is injury, pardon. Where there is doubt, faith. Where there is despair, hope. Where there is darkness, light. Where there is sadness, joy. Divine Master, grant that I may not so much seek to be consoled as to console, to be understood as to understand, to be loved as to love. For it is giving that we receive, it is in pardoning that we are pardoned, it is dying to self that we are born to eternal life. And that's a prayer I obviously have at my desk because it's something I constantly remind myself that sometimes I need to love myself so much that I can expand through myself and beyond just myself to reach all those around me. and to have that center point of self-love where I and you all recognize the divine within you, that you are the light, that there's no reason to constrict your energy, because as you're balancing each of your chakras, you have the right to feel, to follow your intuition, to decide, to be grounded in love, to expand with your heart, to speak your truth, to live your vision. And your chakra, the thing about that is that's really living your purpose, right? And, the visions that I had as a child, a lot of them have come true. And I know you have visions too. And that is your soul speaking to you. So if you can just trust and know that you will be provided for to fulfill your mission, because there's everything here to be able to do that, right? And you don't need to compromise. You don't need to do something that doesn't feel good, right? Because your natural state is joy. That's why we go deeper in the Intuitive Success Club, but we have God, right? And uh, so, yeah, you're so welcome, Elizabeth. So when you're in that place of joy and connection, like you are unifying with the divine, right? And making that powerful choice from love and then expressing and sharing it. So it's really great to see so many of you on live, and I'm going to do my best to get this recording out. Offer it for any questions. I did get a couple calls, but it came up as potential spam. So make sure you unblock your phone if you are trying to call in, and I'd be happy to answer your question. Taking a moment to center. I think, any place where you feel needs healing as you go through each of your chakras, I just invite you to send just golden light. And man, you guys and ladies, everybody watching, I have seen such miracles with clients I've worked with that were actually blind and able to see and not able to fully walk and then to walk through this power of light, through this power of alignment with their intuition. So if you're experiencing something in your body or your relationships or your career, send light, send this golden energy of light, high frequency energy, because it naturally moves your body back into balance, back into harmony. And so, one of the reasons why I'm so connected to my own body and really take a stand and believe in us doing what is closest to the earth, what is most in harmony, is because I know everything on the earth can heal us. And I know that our bodies are really born perfect, right? They're born able to be that instrument and to provide that longevity and health. So I just invite you to really trust yourself and just soften again. If there's any other fears coming up, just soften and maybe write them down. Write those fears down and then go into your knowing and ask yourself, what's the truth about this? And what do I need to know about this? Because often we get clarity of the knowing and we find what the truth is, we can then move forward with clarity, right? And there's no need to judge. There's no need to blame. There just is what it is, right? And that place of alignment is where you can really, truly trust yourself, right? Because you're that expression. So, let's see. I am feeling like just about wanting to wrap up. What I'm seeing now is just a golden energy. So as we've done some really beautiful energy work, I just invite you to imagine like a bubble of love. So around you 360 degrees. And a prayer, and what I often say is just, that I'm transparent, that I always share what's of service, and that anything that comes into my bubble of light is of love, and anything else, it just flows right through me. So I'm only maintaining and keeping and lifting up to a higher vibration of love. And anything else, whether it's a thought or judgment or something just floating in the air from somebody else, from the environment, that it's just either deflected off, right, with the light, or it flows through me to the point where it transparently just moves through. And another thing that Sonia said, it's funny, I'm reading one of her books again, The Heart's Desire. It's so great. And I remember in her live training, she said, just be transparent, because it's like something will stick to you like Velcro if it's yours. But if not, it's just most likely somebody else. So you don't need to hold on to it. You can just trust, return to sender, let it go towards the light. You just keep moving towards the love. And that is what's going to heal you if you are still experiencing any pain. And it's what's going to expand you into that ultimate state of joy and bliss. And you deserve it. So I'm just going to leave with one last thing we mentioned, but I just want you I invite you to allow it. That feeling good is feeling God. So whatever your word for God is, the universe, Allah, whatever it is, that feeling good is feeling God. So your divine birthright is to feel good, right? And as you do, you create that ripple of love. So just had another comment. My mother was a lifelong devotee of St. Joseph and transitioned at age 7. Wow, as a violet flame presence. Yeah, I had another dear client. He was working on a book last I knew, and he worked with that violet flame. And I love that you mentioned that. The violet flame is a purifying energy, in my experience, right? It cleanses away, it heals, it protects. So also Archangel Michael, the blue energy coming in. So I just invite anybody to call on the violet flame to just heal, transmute, and transform any negative energies, entities that are not yours, that no longer serve. You can bring Archangel Michael in with his beautiful sword. So energetically, just with light, imagine a light sword just cutting away and clearing any energy that no longer serves. And it's not really a secret, but one of the gifts that I learned is to cut the cord with the phrase Sahat. And you just release the energy, anything that no longer serves you, you cut the cords. And for those of you that want to do more personalized sessions, do that to actually learn how to cut them from different people, places, or things, so you're no longer attached to it. So for now, just bring in that violet flame. Let Archangel Michael come in. And then just ask that you be healed, transformed by the light of love, expand into all that you are. Know that as you move forward with this grace, with the divine presence of pure unconditional love in and through you, that you will be guided, that your heart's desire is already there. It's being manifested now. And as you just take that next step, where love has paved the way before you, your dream is being acted and manifested to you, through you, as your infinite connection to the divine, to the universe. So, love you all. Namaste. Please feel free to reach out to me at abby@lifeforceconnection.com, abby@lifeforceconnection.com. And you're welcome to visit our website at lifeforceconnection.com too. All right, everyone. Have a beautiful day. Lots of love.